makes me feel like I can't breathe. It ain't right, it ain't right, it ain't right.
And we're back. Did I not say in yesterday's episode that we would be back post game and we're gonna start posting some more videos? So it's Din and
You
I.
promised that?
I promised that.
That's a huge fucking promise. I did not know this, but you're welcome.
It's happening now. So we're
Big
doing the
pull-through
post
guy right now.
We just won 3-1 against San Jose Sharks. First takes.
San Jose is really good on the penalty kill, and we tried to just give Marner a point the whole game, and we still made them look stupid.
Yeah.
So they're bad.
Yeah, San Jose is not. Now, I know we sometimes rip on the Steve Dangle podcast here on the Leafs.
No, not me. that my friend could not be me.
But not every team that we win against is a bad team. However, tonight, San Jose is just not that good of a team.
No.
And I am still very impressed with Mac Hollowell. Now, Victor Mete had a bit of a weak game tonight. That one goal was his fault. But I mean, we can nitpick. He's not supposed to be in the NHL.
We can nitpick as well.
Yeah, but he's like not supposed to. What is he, our 8th? No, he's probably our 9th guy. And I'd probably Mac Hollowell has actually overtaken him in the depth chart.
So I think he's 9th.
9th or 10th. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive how low that is. And that we're talking about it. Like, come on, this is actually pretty good. This might be new heights for us. We're talking about the 9th defenseman playing.
Yeah. This is, and it's not Marty Marinson as our 7th. So we've come a long way.
Don't bring him up like this.
We've come a long way. Your 3 stars of the game.
Matthews looked awesome. Matthews looks like a different player this year, which is weird for a player who just scored like 1,000 goals to be like, I'm going to make my game more defensive. I'd be like, fuck that. I am not. I'm going to go score 70 goals. I'm not going to do anything. And not do anything because we know he's pretty good defensively, but he's all over the puck, man. And automatically Samsonov because guy's a beauty. Gives up 1 goal his first game back. He's got like a 1.8 goals against average. Best tandem since Michael Telkvist and like Trevor Kidd. So I'm excited for that. And then Nylander 3rd.
Nylander 3rd. Okay, you just had to put
Whitlock there. Engvall look good again, and I might start bringing back the takes of
Chad Engvall.
Is Engvall unironically good?
Yeah. Well, you know what he did. Although I will say he reminds me of like Jonas Höglund a little bit, where it's just like
that's not a compliment.
No, it's not. But like this is the thing: is he'll do a lot of the right things, and then he'll get a good chance and shoot it right into a goalie's midsection. Like
I thought we got rid of Mikheyev.
Well, he is a bit of Mikheyev, and he's just a lot less money and a little and less injury history than Mikheyev. So, for all the people saying like, "Oh, the contracts are bad," like we have Mark Giordano playing first line.
We're talking about, and when we're talking bad, we're talking like, oh, it's like 10% more. Like, it like Mars contract's bad. Okay, what should you be paid? 9.8. All right, it is 13% more money. Like that's like talking about a $3 million player making 3.4 instead, which is kind of what we're talking about too, anyways.
Yeah. Speaking of guys making $3.5 million, that we're not the biggest fan of, but got the game-winning assist. Alex Kerfoot.
I thought we were talking about David Kampf's contract next year.
I'm down for that. That's a much better contract.
Sorry, go on while I make a brutal joke.
I went last podcast for those who listened. I compared, like I said that Dubas, people were criticizing Dubas for signing Calle Jarnkrok for a few years, a bit of a long-term deal. And I said, he's just Kerfoot's replacement. He's just the same player for a little less money. He can play center. He can play wing. He's not really a top 6 guy. He's defensively sound, can play in the PK. He is Alex Kerfoot.
And I think better.
But better.
Or fits, though things he's better at fits his team more.
Right, because he was playing top 6 with that line.
Yeah, like maybe Kerfoot could have been like a more valuable player than Jarnkrok on a different team.
Right, and we still hopefully might see that at the end of the year. But
I'd love to see Kerfoot in New Jersey, man. That would be pretty good. How about New Jersey?
Although that would be a first round matchup that would be a very interesting first round matchup, but we'll get there when we get there. Alex Kerfoot for me
let's be honest with him,
is a lot of back and forth, and someone was saying on Twitter today like that we shouldn't be so negative on the guy, and it's not that we're negative on him, like he's not supposed to be Alex Kerfoot all the time. This year's been noticeably bad, but for $3.5 million, even if he is Alex Kerfoot, that's too much on this team, right? Like,
also, look who we signed for like $1.5 million. All right, look who we signed for 1.2, 2.2, whatever. They're usually good deals. So if you're telling me if you gave Dubas another million or two to go find a bargain version of a 3.5, that it's not going to be not Alex Kerfoot, because it's not going to be Alex Kerfoot.
right.
If
Yeah.
you gave Dubas $3.5 million in the offseason extra, and you couldn't sign Kerfoot, but Kerfoot was you could sign Kerfoot and he was a free agent, would he?
No.
Like, where on the list would he be, right?
Yeah, he was not the main guy in that trade. It was Barry.
Yeah.
It was the main guy in that trade. Simple. Let's move off the negativity just because there's so much positives. My 3 stars are Samsonov, beauty. The guy gets a little too complacent on playing the puck. I've noticed that a few times for him, whereas Matt Murray's a little bit more reserved, but it's going to happen. Marner, obviously, it was nice to see everyone in the stands like give the guy an ovation. Can't believe he didn't shoot that one puck, but he ended up getting it.
He can't not. Doesn't even matter. Hey man, we want you to break a record. No, it's just not gonna happen. The puck on my stick, automatic pass.
Yeah,
fucking right trigger is taped down.
Yeah. And my third guy, maybe this is just a collective thing. It might not necessarily have been just this game, but Liljegren is absolutely like.
Dude,
I feel
solid.
so confident when he.
When you say that, I'm like, I didn't even think about him. Which perfect.
Yeah,
it's happening.
Exactly.
Happening.
Exactly.
I've thought about him like 3 games. It's happening.
And as I was saying last podcast, like when everyone's healthy, you got Riley Brody, Geo Hall seems to work right now, anyways. And then if you have Sandin and Liljegren as your third pair, like that is absolutely, you don't need Muzzin back, and he could be a 7th
at
guy.
any given point. I think I hate saying that second pairing, but any of them could be like a first pairing or like dominate over their adjacent pair.
Yeah, and they've shown that Geo and Hall can be a first pairing. I mean,
yeah, that's so crazy. That's insane.
Yeah, so really crazy. Yeah, Hall's been looking. I think they finally found their match, and maybe it's I don't know. Everything about this team right now is just clicking.
Geo's just so embarrassed just being on that he's just like, okay, I'll do it all. Don't
what
worry,
is this?
No, sit down.
Is this 10 straight games of him playing over 20 minutes at 30?
Now, what I will say, I did listen, I think there was a couple Steve Dangle podcasts ago, I will say, and they're right that I think Geo in a way is still like a first pairing defenseman that just doesn't have the output to like do that every night.
Yeah.
He won the Norris 2 years ago, like 2020, right? The short season, I think.
Yeah.
So
no,
he's long ago.
He's definitely still has the capacity for that. He's shown it. Like this guy in the playoffs last year was amazing. What has he let up 7 or 8 goals against him this entire year, 5-on-5? Like
6, isn't it? It's 6.
I think it was 6, and then when that stat was said, and then he was on for a goal last game.
Oh, way to jinx it! Nice.
Yeah. Well, classic. So yeah, I think everything on this team is just clicking. It seems like all the guys are getting. And one thing I wanted to point out, I don't know if you noticed this, but how nice was it to see when Mac Hollowell made that amazing pass shot to Matthews for the goal? Matthews just points at him and just hypes the guy up. He doesn't celebrate. It's not like a soccer. I know with all this FIFA stuff going on, everyone's celebrating, running right from their teammates. The guy runs straight up to his teammate and just like fires him up. That's so good to see.
Well, I've never not thought of Matthews like that, right? He's never been fired up for himself, and it's not like he doesn't like show it for other people. He's always shown it for other people. And literally, Mac Hollowell is his like biological younger brother.
Oh, I was gonna say son.
I actually found research. It's his younger brother.
I thought it was
but no, that's awesome.
Just like us.
Yeah, no, but it fires me up. It's because like to me, Mac Hollowell is not someone that should even be necessarily in this lineup at any given time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think also having confidence in each other that if they do come back up, that it's not like, oh fucking this guy.
Yeah.
Right? Because I feel like that does happen. Obviously, in net, that 100% happens, but I think that happens more often than not.
Yeah, 100%. And a question for you, who comes out of the lineup when Brody comes back?
I don't know.
Who would
Yeah,
you
I don't.
take out of the lineup?
Well, then who's our sixth right now? Well, I guess that's a
Mete
question, right?
Hollowell. It's between Mete and
Yeah,
Hollowell, right? Who do you take out?
Mete.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because like you also have proven now, like you don't even need anyone playing. Like literally, no one has to play, and we could just win. Right?
Yeah.
Like I think that big, unless this circle of like roster players we've been using somehow gets bigger, and Yarncroke left the game today, so I guess kind of just did. But if it stays within that, which is a pretty big group of players, I think we'll be completely fine.
Yeah, I 100% agree. They've all shown that they can play. Even Philip Kral didn't look bad when he was up, but let's hope we
No,
don't get to that point. Timmins, we still got Connor Timmins too. We see yet you've yet to see
exactly.
him.
No,
I think all
man,
honestly,
I think Connor Timmins could be something. I remember he was a good prospect out in Colorado. Dude, imagine getting traded to Colorado when you're like 21 and you're like a second round or like early second round pick, late first round pick, basically. And you go to Arizona and you're just like, oh great, I am never going to be a better player than what I am right now.
yeah. Well, he was drafted by Colorado, right?
Yeah, Colorado.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
And then going to Arizona and having to play University Stadium. Yeah. That's a tough go. But I'm excited to see him. I think Mete might have opened the door for him to squeeze into the lineup next game.
Yeah.
He's a bigger body. I mean, whenever we get someone, it's always the mystique if it's like the unopened box. Like, who's this guy gonna be? But I definitely think he could, at the very least, be a depth defenseman down the road.
Yeah.
Right? Like
we always need to find new ones. What if we just have one sitting there?
Yeah, that
like
trade.
We put effort into, assets into, development into, and he's young enough that like at least he can be Travis Dermott.
Yeah, it's
which is fine.
A bigger.
And it gives us content to talk about too if he is Travis Dermott.
Yeah, all the hate on Travis, all the hope and then the hate. Last thing I wanted to touch on is Robertson. What are your thoughts on him this game?
He the things he does bad are too bad. Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like the things he does that are bad are I keep going, oh, he's a rookie. And I think I did that for Liljegren last year. I remember doing that where it went like he's a rookie. Like I won't do that for Matt Hollowell because I'll be like, he's a rookie and he's shit. But I'll give a little bit of leeway with like Robertson Liljegren where it's Liljegren last year where it's just like he's a rookie. Like he's gonna make these mistakes. It's if you keep saying that, or at least as long as the distance gets further apart by the time like the times you say that. It's fine, but it's not happening. And he hasn't played. He fucking hasn't.
Yeah.
But it's his bad plays are bad.
Yeah. I mean, there was a few times when he quickly like makes those turnaround shots. And then he doesn't have the awareness to see like, oh, is there two defensemen back so that if this doesn't work out, it's not going to be 2-on-1 the other way. Right. So it's just those little things where he just seems to rush it instead of just taking the smart move. Because you can do that in the AHL. But like just put it back around. Keep the cycle going, right? So it's just little things like that, but I'm sure he's gonna learn as he goes around. I don't mind him coming in and playing on that fourth line. That they look good.
Want to play every single game. I want to play every game.
You do want him to play every game? Yeah.
Well, I mean, like this lineup has literally shown that it kind of doesn't matter who we play at this point. If the core four are playing, like we're pretty well fine.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if those goalies are in net. Like, because I don't have any doubt in my mind that both those goalies, if healthy, are okay to good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, they're over 9/12s each.
Yeah. Right. In which case, I think all we need is a core four to play. Just give Robertson his reps. There's still fucking 50 games left in the season.
Yeah, and we're gonna make playoffs now. Hopefully, Boston kind of falters because I still want that number 1 seed. I want to face a wild card team.
They're fucking.
This is the year. This is the year.
This is it. Just stop.
Any last final thoughts that you want to leave us with?
We're the best team in the league. Go fuck Bruins.
I'm with you. I can't foresee another scenario where we're going to go on a stretch where people are saying blow it all up.
Well, it will, but what it actually is will be a lot smaller than it might have been.
Well, do you also notice that like the blow it all ups are getting more and more like you lose 2 straight games and everyone's like, blow it up. Whereas in the past, it was like you lose 10 straight and it's like, well, there's still, like there's less.
No, it's so relative, right? We were literally dead last like 6 years ago. The Steve Dangle podcast, once again, it's literally like, dude, we just had an MVP, Richard, and like Ted Lindsay, and we're just like, so he's leaving.
Yeah, exactly.
like, oh, who cares? He's leaving, right?
Yeah, and we just had a guy that tied the all-time streak for points,
Yeah,
who's
but it was,
also playing great
It was an
defense.
empty net goal though, so against the Sharks, so it doesn't count unfortunately because the teams 50 years ago were much better.
Yeah, and definitely didn't have
Really
goalies
consistent.
with like their pads, just their leg size.
A lot of parity, especially when the Sharks initially got into the league. Very good team right off the jump.
All right, that's gonna be us for us. We are going to be doing more of these videos, even if it's Dan and I, just me, Schmitty and I, but hopefully we'll get all three of us together at some point. That's it for us.
Beautiful.
So,
Peace, love, and road dog.
Makes me feel like I can't breathe. It ain't right, it ain't right,